welcome to everybody to this live webinar, and we will speak today about implant components, the new implant components we have here available in Zirkonzahn. In the last 1 year, we change. But we implement the regular, let's say, products we have with some new components. That's, for example, one of the new components we have. It's the MUA, the multi-unit abutment, in different angulation and different type. We will see each of these components, and also different T-bases, also for different type of restoration, high T-bases that you can cut it, you can use it for different high level of tissue and also of restoration, and new T-bases also for angulated screw channel. I prepare for just to be clear in the explanation. I prepare just a PDF that you can follow with me. We can pass through, let's say, components, real components, so you can see the picture of the components. Just to recognize it better, and also we will see some screenshots about the software, so you can also recognize where you can find the components into the software. So let's have a look at the presentation. If you guys don't see, you can resize also with the scroll and make it bigger if you want. Okay, so yeah, most of the presentation is based on the new components. So means the MUAs, angulated, and the new T-bases. Okay, that's the focus of our live presentation today, and I will show you how to use it and how to implement in your daily workflow. So basically, just to make an overview about the components we have, the new components, we can see that we have multi-unit, the multi-unit straight, so just straight, with different height also, and the multi-unit angulated, 70-degree angulated. For now, there is just a 17-degree angulated multi-unit abutment. In the future, maybe will be available also a different angulation for the multi-unit. We will speak also, and I will show you tools and accessories that you can find in Zirkonzahn, and you can buy just to manage everything in a much more simple way. And we will speak also about these new T-bases, as I spoke with you already. So titanium bases, the K85, for example, is the new T-bases, high, much more high than the regular one. And you can also cut this T-base at different level, and I will show you into the software how to have a good fitting after you cut it. Then you have the titanium base K80. That's the base for the T-base for to have the option to move the channel screw and to have angulated channel screw. And once again, we are speaking about different accessories that we have, and we speak about the model, how to create a model, for example, in our workflow. and the components for the model, of course. And yeah, that's what we are speaking about. So everything starts from the project, okay? Every one of us, when we want to design something, when we want to create a framework, a single ground, doesn't matter, we start from a project. So everything starts basically from the archive. Archive, so create a new treatment, and then we have the option to choose different kind of restoration, of course. In this case, just to be also much more clear for you, to make it clear, the components, I prepare also two different models, one with the multi-unit abutment and one without any multi-unit abutment with the overstructure, and I mill it, so you can see also from the picture how it's running these kind of restorations. So for example, in this case, I select, there was a walks-up, there was a 6 implant in the upper, so 6 walks-up elements in PMMA, I mill it in PMMA, and of course, in the option, I select here that I have the scan body. We were speaking also about the different scan body available we have. And I select, just to implement and to finish my project also, I select that you have the gingiva. Of course, the gingiva, when you have implant, we need to select gingiva because our emergency profile is detected on the surface of the gingiva. So 6 implant with scan body and with the gingiva selection. So after that you create your own project into the archive, you can open the scanner, and of course you can scan directly from the scanner the model if you have the model, or you can import the data if you have intraoral data. That's depending on every case. You have still both options, so scanning directly or import the files into the scan software. Here you see the gingiva, and then of course we implement also with the scan body, and you see that here we have the scan body for directly on top of the multi-unit abutment. And in the next slide here, you can see that we have the scan body, the white one, not the metal, the lead, but the intraoral white scan body directly on the implants. So, of course, also the white one, you can use it also into the models. That's possible without any problem. So, next one will be the walks-up. Of course, I create a walks-up. I can create a walks-up also with the modifier software, really easy. So just load anatomies and create the gingiva, connect the gingiva and teeth together, and just a little bit design on the gingiva, and you have your own walks-up. You can import into the scan software, and then you have the possibility inside into the CAD software to adapt your walks-up on the situation you have. So from another point of view, from the frontal view, also the walks-up. And here you can see that these scan body are directly on the implants, and the other scan bodies are on the MUA, on the multi-unit abutment. And in some of these implant position, I was using the angulated MUA, so 17 degree, and in some another one, I just use the straight one. It's depending on the case, it's depending on the situation you have, you can choose. But let's say that we have just 170, let's say 170 degree angulated MUA, but the possibility the possibilities are a lot, and I will show you also with some slide about the position, because we have two types of this multi-unit abutment, angulated, and the engaging is different. So every 25 degrees, finally, if you turn it, you can have another position. So you can have a lot of possibility in combination, let's say. Anyway, we go forward with the scan from, let's say, from lateral view. You can see our WhatsApp, and now we make an overview about some components and some multi-unit. I don't know if it's the connection. I can't see anymore my presentation here. Okay, let's continue. Once I go to the next one, I cannot see anymore. Don't know what's happening. I'm sorry. I have a problem that after this, I can see it. Okay, and then it's disappeared. Don't know why. Let's try, okay, here we go. I'm sorry, maybe the connection, I don't know. Okay, here you can see from this slide the two different multi-unit that we have, the straight one and the angulated multi-unit with 70-degree inclination. But the difference is the lower part of the multi-unit. It's not the straight one, of course, that's not a problem to explain. So it's a straight multi-unit. It could usable for large restoration, so with a conical T-base on top, or mill straight with a bar or something like that. But the angulated one, the connection, the lower part of the multi-unit, you can have it in type 1 or in type 2. So type 1 and type 2, the X is placed in a different way. I don't know why, but every time that I'm going to the next step, I don't know why. Yes. Okay. Here you can see from, it's really slow. I don't know if it's the connection, but once I pass to the next slide, it's really slow. But anyway, let's continue. Here, from this point of view, you can see that we have a full arch restoration for the sample. And in the distal implants, we use two angulated multi-unit abutments, and you can see it. And in the front, we use two straight multi-unit abutments. On top, we can mill straight also a bar in titanium, for example, and then screw everything together on top of our multi-unit. Yeah, here is something into the presentation or into the line. I don't know if it's the connection, but I can see it's really slow, but anyway, it's coming. So here you can see for the multi-unit abutment non-X, the regular multi-unit, straight multi-unit, you can use, of course, screw directly on the implant, and on top of the implant, on top, sorry, of the multi-unit, you can use a conical cemented regular T-base, or also the new T-bases that we have available, and you can cement this T-base inside into the framework, so you can fit perfectly. You can see also that you can have it in gold, plated gold. so it's much more biocompatible. And you can have also in different height. So you have 5 different height or the shoulder of the multi-unit. So we have a lot of possibility of connection depending on the position of the implant. If it's really deep or if it's high, you can switch between one or other type of multi-unit. Now we wait for the loading of the next one slide. Yes, here we go. And now here you can see the angulated multi-unit. You can see from this sectional view how it's work, basically, the multi-unit. So basically we have a screw, and you can screw directly into the implant from this side, and then the top of the multi-unit have another screw, which is screw from the side, let's say from the palatinal surface probably of our situation. So you can screw the T-base or the bar or whatever directly on the multi-unit. And of course the X, you can use it for single crown. So you have an anti-rotational X on top, and you have also available in different colors, so in gold-plated, that's much more biocompatible, and in different gingival height. So you have 2. In the case of angulated, you have 2 different height of the multi-unit. Here you can see from this slide, you can see how I already explained to you, but here you can see it better. So you have the type 1 and the type 2. That's about the multi-unit angulated, for example. And you can see that here the connection, the X of the connection, the top of the multi-unit is the same. It's exactly the same size, the same shape, etc. But the X on the bottom here, that is my connection into the implant, is a little bit tilted between the type 1 and type 2. So basically is 30-degree difference between the X, so you can have a lot of position, a lot of different position. Just every step you can have like 30 of the different position of our multi-unit. Then next slide, you can see that the connection type 1 and type 2, you can have it the top, you can have it triangular, you can have a square, and you can have orthogonal. So depending on the connection you choose, you have 60-degree, you have 45-degree, and you have 22.5 degrees. So you have a lot of possibility of this position, let's say. I'm sure 100% that with all these choice that you have, you can find the right angulation and the right position for your case. And the advantage, the really big advantage is for Zirkonzahn user, of course, is that you can find all these components directly into the software, into the library. I will show you later in some slide how it's running directly from the library into the software. Here you have an overview about the MUA, but not just the MUA. You can see that also you have the impression copying, for example, just an overview, a quick overview about the components that you can buy in Zirkonzahn. The impression copy for regular impression, of course, the laboratory analog, the regular analog, and then you have also the scan analog. The scan analog, you can use it also directly on the impression, and you can scan it to have the position of the implant, or you can use the scan analog directly on the model, inside into the model as an analog, let's say as an analog, as a model, as an analog into a model that you mail or you print. Okay, that's basically for the digital workflow. And of course, the laboratory analog, the regular one, is for plaster models. Then you have the three different scan bodies, so the regular one and the white one. And then you can find here something also new that I like a lot, is the white metal scan body. The white metal scan body, you can see we have a connection. There is a connection in metal. Is a piece complete? The upper part is treated, plasma treated, and the surface is not shining. So the surface is really, really nice to scan by the intraoral scanner. And the connection is in metal. So it's much more safe to have this connection in metal, in titanium. And the upper part is treated, the surface, so it's gray and treated, so it's much more easy and safe also for intraoral scans. Then you have, of course, the different healing caps. About the multi-unit abutment, of course, the straight one, gold and regular, and the angulated, gold and regular. Then we speak about the bases, the regular bases that are already available since long time. So the regular T-bases, conical or parallel, the narrow T-bases, and in gold the same. Then different screw, of course, different screw for metal or for zirconia. We will see also later which one is indicated for zirconia, which one is indicated for metal. From the slide, you can see it better. So then we pass through the card software, through the Morelius software, and you can see, so starting from that part that we scan or we import the data inside into the scan software, we can start to design our framework inside into the model. And of course, you can, as a first step, you can have the choice or the option to choose a different implants. Different implants and different scan body that you is supposed that you was using for this case. So inside into the library here of our Morelius software, you can have exactly on the left side, the first choice you have is the selection of the implant company. So implant company is the first choice. I will select my implant company, and then I have the second one in the left is the implant system. So the different implant system that this company have, you can select it, and then you have the implant size related to the system that you choose. Then we have here in the center, we have the abutment type. So you can choose a different connection. So starting from titan basis conical or titan basis parallel with anti-rotational or no rotational for the conical. So then you have the choice also to select directly screw. So means that you don't want to use any kind of T-base, but you want to screw directly on top of the bar of the multi-unit or directly on top of the framework without any connection. Let's say that we, of course, we recommend, like, it's the much more safe way to build up a framework, in my opinion. Probably the much more safe way to build up a framework is, especially for full arch, is to have a bar and the framework on top of the bar. But if you want to make it directly screw, let's say without a T-basis, you can do it. So then here on the bottom, you have also the option to choose between different height of the T-bases. So you can see that we have L, for example, 15 and L20 and 25 here. And here you can choose the height of the T-base that you want to use it. Then here on the lower part, you can choose, for example, the type of the scan body that you suppose that you was using during the scanning. So if you are using this kind of scan body, the scan body of the lab, the triangular one, or you have the choice to select the white one or the white metal, the new one. Okay. Then you have here in the middle, that's something also interesting. Maybe not everybody know that you have the option to select ceiling thread. The ceiling thread is, when I select ceiling thread, I get the option to have the ceiling inside into the framework. So I can just screw inside into the ceiling like a ceiling thread inside in plastic that you can mill it straight from the milling machine, and you can cover really accurate the channel screw in that way. Okay, so let's go into the next step. Then here you can see for the sample that we select T10-based parallel. Is not anymore, just to show you from the picture, is not anymore the conical one, but is the parallel one. And you have also different kind of parallel T-base with different height. And the shoulder is different, with different height of the shoulder of the T-base, or like we spoke before, directly screw on the implant. Then if we choose, like here, you can see directly screw, you have X or no X, and you get just the screw, so it means that you have no interface, you have no T-base in between your framework and the implant connection. Then if you choose the conical one and the standard, you have, of course, also here the different height of the shoulder of the T-base, the regular T-base, let's say. Then the narrow T-base, you can see the narrow T-base from this picture is the shoulder is not coming out, let's say, at 45 more or less degree, but it's really straight, directly on the connection of the implant. And that's something also that not everybody know, that we have also this option in the library. Okay, so then we are coming to the new T-bases. That the basis that we see till now was, let's say, the regular T-bases that we have available since a long time. Now we are coming to the new T-bases that was implemented 1-2 years ago. And let's say the K85 is the large T-base that you can use when you have large crown or large bridges, just to be safe. And you can see that you can cut it in a different level. And if you choose here height, for example, 5 by 4 or whatever, and you can select it, and automatically will be fit when you cut the T-base at that level. So it's really, let's say, flexible, this T-base, because it's coming really large, but you can also cut it in a different level. So, and directly also into the software. So once you know that you select, for example, here 4.5, and you know that you have to cut it on the first line here, you cut the T-base, it will fit perfectly inside into the framework. Okay, so that's really easy to manage and really flexible related to the different framework we can have into the lab. So high or not so high. Then the other new T-bases, so the K80 is the T-bases that is open. You can see from this picture is open from in one side, and you have the option to inclinate the channel screw. So I have different inclination up to 30 degrees. It is possible to angulate this channel screw coming out from this T-base. Of course, there is a special screw which is rounded, and the screwdriver is also round, is a different one that allow you to come inside into the frame, into the base, angulated, is engaged also when it's not straight, but is a little bit inclinated to the screw. So that's the K85. And you have also here the same, like the K80, different possibility to cut it in a different level. Okay, that's interesting to know that we have these options. And of course, the regular conical and with the white metal scan body, or with the regular one, the white scan body, the regular, and now the scan analog. The scan analog is another option. As I told you, you can use the scan body regular, so means that you put the scan body on top of the implant to detect the position of the implant, or you can use the scan analog and screw inside into the impression coping, for example, or into a framework, a prototype, to detect the position of the implant. Okay, and you can use the scan analog also inside into the model as an analog. The white metal scan body. So the white metal is the new scan body, which is really, really nice scan body. And yes, here you can see when you wanna, with a new modeler software, you can download, let's say, the library, part of the library. We don't need to download all the implants, all the components. So really easy, when you need some new components or some implants, you are going into more here, and you can find library, and then from there, you have the option to download libraries. So download the libraries means that you don't download all the implant components with the different companies that we have inside into the library, but you download just the one that you are using, or a few, let's say a few implants that you are using normally. It makes no sense to download completely the library because it's really heavy library, so that's make really no sense. So you just select from here, from the center, the type of the type of the implants, but also the company, and then you just click on this button here, and you can download directly. Then once again, the white one and the conical T-base for this kind of restoration, and then we are moving into the next step. So I select conical, of course, because it's a large framework with the shoulder really not so high because it's close to the border of the gingiva. And then I align my scan body digital to the scan body coming from the scan. That's the step really, really important to follow accurate. You can see that here I was selecting also sealing. You remember that I talked about the possibility to have the sealing thread inside into the framework. So the software show you directly this sealing, and you can screw in directly this thread once it's milled. Really easy to fix the real screw because it's stopped directly on the head of the real screw, and is sealed really, really accurate all the channel screw. Then of course the possibility to draw, let's say, the emergency profile of the implants. Here, depending on the situation, I draw the emergency profile one by one, and then I have the option to manage this area around the implants in a different way. It is not directly connected to the implant, but I have some more option to manage this area around the implant. That's the sense to create the emergency profile into the CAD. So here we have the option to manage, as I told you, the emergency profile around the implants. And And we can also change here from modify the inclination of the channel screw. And here we can manage the border, we can make it more pressure into the gingiva, less pressure, concave or convex, as you want. You can manage all these things in this step. And you can see that this kind of restoration without any multi-unit, directly with the connection, the holes of the implant, they are coming from the vestibular area. Most of the framework, like just this implant, is more or less occlusal. The rest is, everyone is out, okay? And let's say that if we want like to move it, we can move it. Let's say manual, we can move the channel screw. But the problem is when you reach with a normal connection, without any multi-unit abutment or without any T-base opened, like the new one, and you get like 30-degree inclinated channel screw, the milling of the framework, let's say we have really a do that this area is milled correctly. Most of the time when it's more than 60, 80 degree, the connection area with the implant here, this area, is not accurate milling. Okay, so you can see it from this point of view and to this one. Here, it is impossible manual to change this inclination. So we have basically two options here. Or we are using a multi-unit abutment, or we use the bases open it, but with a bases open it, because yes, we can move the inclination up to 30 degree. Probably here we are able to do it, but if we have a really deep implants and we have room enough for the MUA, for the multi-unit, that's my, let's say, preferred choice to use a multi-unit abutment in between. The framework on top, and you can see if I go straight without move the inclination of the channel screw, I have the channel screw coming out vestibular, okay? So you can see it. And I was minted also like that just to show you. Now we would like to see with the multi-unit 70 degree what is going on. So once again, we have the same framework, but with the multi-unit 70 degree. And you can see from this slide, the inclination of the channel screw coming out straight from the implant connection and the position of the multi-unit 17 degree angulated. So now we have this channel screw original, and you can see that we select here Zirkonzahn multi-unit, a multi-unit abutment, and the regular T-base, so the regular conical T-base with a regular, let's say, scan body also. And then that's, once again, that's really important. This step, control every time the color, the matching color between the digital and the scan body. That's important to be sure about the fitting, okay? That color, the blue one, is close to 0. So means that is really accurate, the matching in this case. The framework, and you can see from here that right now, the framework and the channel screw are coming out from the multi-unit. All the channel screw are coming occlusal. So I have not any more problem about the channel screw position, let's say not a good position. Okay, so and then we mill the framework, and about about the multi-unit screwdrivers and components that you can use it, accessories that you can use it. The screwdriver for the multi-unit abutment, so is a special screwdriver which engages directly on top of the multi-unit, and really easy you can screw it in. This is the implant screw, and it's also an insertion tool, so you can see also the insertion of the multi-unit. Once you put it in the mouth, you can see more or less how it's coming out, the channel screw, and where it's coming out. Then the conical cemented titanium base, non-X, on top of the abutment, of course. That's our T-base on top of the multi-unit. Then we speak a little bit, and we will have a look at the new T-bases, also from the pictures, just to see. The K85, as I told you, is the base, the large T-base. Yeah, some problem with the connection. Anyway, the K85, it's now we will see it work. It's the T-base, the large T-base that you can cut it in a different level. You have 5 different positions where you can cut it, and basically into the software, you get the possibility to choose the height that you want, and then you can cut at that level, and after you mill the framework, we will fit perfectly at that level. I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's say that here just wait. Yeah, okay, let's continue from the card part. So but with a different T-base, just to show you into the software how it's work with the different T-bases. So here you see the K85 with a different height. You can select, as I told you before, and then you cut at the different height that you choose here, and will fit perfectly. The K80 angulated is the other one, T-base, the one that you can move the channel screw and make it angulated. I think is maybe the connection is not so fast here. I will try to stop it and restart. Maybe, okay, that's good. Stop and restart the presentation. So you can see that once you select here the K85 T-base, you have the same option to cut it, but in the T-base is open, as I speak you before, as I was explaining you before, it's open from the palatinal normally surface, of course, and then you are able to move the channel screw with a different inclination. You can see that here is named angulate screw channel D2.9. You have to remember this size, or 2.9, because once it's finished the framework, you need to match and to choose in attachment. You need to choose this size, exactly the size that you can see it from here, and you can match the different inclination with the attachment, just to have the channel screw correctly. So here, of course, like usual, I select my implants. I align my implants up to everyone. Sometimes some moment is stopped. I don't know. I will try once again to restart. Okay. Try it. Okay. So the framework. And you can see every implants I was selecting this T-base, this special T-base angulated. Okay. And then once it's completely finished, the framework, you can see also under the framework, below the framework, you can see the T-base here opening in the palatinal surface. Once you can see also from here, okay. And then once it's completely finished and merge the framework, we can, in freeform modulation, this is our freeform, at the last step, we can choose attachment. And if you are you can see this small channel screw is the original, let's say, channel screw. We choose attachment, and then in attachment, you have the option to align. I will show you in a few minutes. I will make just a break, and I will show you a video. Okay, just a video about our let's say courses that you can have here, etc. So I will show you a video, and then I will be back and to show you the next steps. Okay, guys, so we continue, and we continue with the presentation, and I will hope that this second part will be easy, and the presentation is not stop every moment. Okay, so once, as I told you, once you finish the framework is merged, you are going into freeform, and then here into the library in Zirkonzahn, you can find the channel screw with a different size, and you can select the right size. In our case, is 2.9. I select the channel screw, and then I will merge and let's say match this cut channel screw to the different inclination I want to use it. So if, for example, here you can see that you can match this channel screw to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 50, depending on you, okay? So you can match it and align. And then once you match by different point, you can select different point, and just by the top here, the top area is square, so it's really easy to match it. You can also see from the color, also here in this moment, that the fitting of the channel screw is correct. So now it's completely blue in the 20, the one that I select. And I stamp out this channel screw with this inclination. That's the workflow about the K85 T-base, okay? So remember, when you select this one, when you finish it, the framework is merged, and you can select the channel screw, and you can stamp in directly. So in this way, the connection also, once you match, the connection between the T-base and the channel screw is correct. It's absolutely perfect, also during the milling without any problem, okay? So for everyone, if I need every one of this framework, I can match with a different inclination, of course, and then stamp the hole inside into my framework. Okay, so now you can see it also from here. We have the channel screw. We was able also by the K85 T-bases to manage the channel screw, and we have the channel screw coming out occlusion, okay? So you can see it also from here. Now it's ready for milling, and I can mill it. So you can see that this is the connection for the T-base inside into my framework. Now we will never look once again to the bases. In the picture, you can see the K85 and the K80. And you can see these lines. You can see it better if you enlarge with the scroll the picture. You can see you can cut it from here really easy. And also the screw is round, is not the regular screw, hexagonal screw head. And the screwdriver is also round, and it helps you to engage correctly the screw. Of course, we can use the model maker to create the models. Like in this case, I was creating the model and mill the model. I prefer to mill model once it's possible, especially for implants, not to print, but to mill. It's much more stable for me when you want to have a really high quality model, and up to implants, it's much more better to have it milled, okay? And the scan analog is fit perfectly one in the holes. So one by one, you can have the same fitting one to the other one, like in this case you can see. So to the next one, so you can see the scan analogs and with the multi-unit abutment on top. Then the framework, milled, the one with the multi-unit abutment with the channel screw coming out here, occlusion, and with the channel screw coming out from vestibular side, which it was the regular one, not connected directly on the implants without any particular connection. Then the frameworks, you can see that the one that I milled straight, we have the problem of the channel screw. It was just to show you that we have this kind of problem we can solve in the way that I was explain during this easy explanation today. So once again, also from the occlusal surface, you can see the channel screw are coming out in a not easy position. Then, with a multi-unit abutment, the same framework, the same walks up, the same position, we was able to manage and to have no problem about that. And as I told you before, the advantage of this is that you can find every component inside into the library, into the CAD library. So it's really, really easy to manage. You don't need to order a lot of components. You can, when you see the components you need, you can use the code just to order. Here you can see that we can have also from occlusal surface the channel screw coming out really, really easy position. And here the two frameworks and the two models. Now we will just have a look about the tools and yeah, some possibility you have with the software. Here you can see that that's an overview about the components. The scan body, regular once again, the white one, the white metal, scan analog, impression copying, regular analogs, healing caps, different multi-unit button, type 1 or type 2. Remember, type 1 and type 2 is a different connection to the implant. The multi-unit on top is the same, but the connection in the lower part, in the bottom, is different. And in gold or in regular, and different T-base, the narrow, the normal one, the K85 open, and the K80, the hide one, and different height of the normal parallel T-base, and yeah, the K80, K85 parallel. Then here you can see from this big overview exactly more or less the same. So from this area we have the impression copying, the scan bodies, the different scan bodies, and you can see here in this side we have the multi-unit systems with the different multi-unit, straight and angulated. That's more or less the same like we see before. Then once again, the scan bodies and the different T-base and the different screw. That's important to know about the screw. We have different screw. We have basically let's say three category. The one rounded that you can use with the open T-base just for inclinated screw channel. Then you have the regular one, of course, the hexagonal screw. And then you have also the screw, let's say, with a head flat or with a head conical, depending on the material. We will see later on. Here you can see the titanium base, the regular titanium base with a different height level of the shoulder. So starting from the lower one to the high one, to the 5 millimeters height T-base. That's the regular T-base that was available since the beginning. And let's have a look here. Let me stop it and restart. I'm really sorry for that. I will try to fix it for the next time. In the meantime, I will just yeah, invite you for the next presentation that we have in the next days. We have Alessandro Cucchiaro, for example, on Friday. We present some case and the light and color explanation about zirconia and cases. And we have also the Dr. Garcia on day 19 that can present also his cases. If you wanna, you can join us in that presentation. Okay, so about the abutment screw zirconia. Of course, the screw is flat. As I told you before, this is important that the flat area is top on the zirconia, not the conical, because the conical can break the materials, of course. And of course, for metal, you can use basically you can use both screw. Here you can see the screwdriver set. You have also with this dynamometer tool that allow you to screw exactly at the right strength that you want to have the T-base or the multi-unit on top of the implant. You have different height of this. This is like, let's say, different height of the screwdriver. You can use the same base, but you can use the different height screwdriver. Then here you can see an overview about the tool. We have different extractor for the T-bases. For example, when you are not able to extract the T-base from the implant, you can use this kind of tool just to easily extract. The extractor for the sealing thread, for example, different height of the screwdrivers, the screwdriver for the MUA, for the multi-unit, the dynamometer tool, and yeah, that's the rounded one, screwdriver, the hexagonal screwdriver. You have different kind of tools that you can use it and you can find into the Zirkonzahn shop. Of course, also the titanium anodized coloring machine that you can buy, device you can buy, and you can have different color. You can have really a large type of colors of the titanium. That's really helps sometimes to have these kind of colors. Of course, sometimes pink help or gold help when you have really thin thickness, and help also in the cementation. You can have a really good cementation on top of the base. Okay, so in the meantime, I will open some question for you. I will hope that you enjoy this presentation. I'm really sorry for the slow, really slow step by step. We will try to fix it for the next time. I will open some questions for you. I will read your questions, some of your questions, and I will answer you. And I open just a pool that you can have a look inside and answer up to some question about if you would like to be contact or something like that about our presentation, if you like it, if you don't like it, and feel free to answer us. In the meantime, I will answer to you some question. I will open just some question, and not every question, of course. Do we have a question in Spanish? But I can answer. ¿Qué es José Manuel? ¿Qué destornillador hay que usar para los tornillos de canal angulado? Okay, I will tell you in English. He asked me about which one is the screwdriver that we have to use for the angulated T-bases. And I already speak about that. We have a special screwdriver related to the screw. That is, the head of the screwdriver is round. So you are allowed to move it in that direction, and really easy to come inside into the head of the screw. Let's say that's one of the questions was this one. So I will. Another question is, yeah, many thanks, Pedro. Okay, thank you everybody. And then I will see right now was coming another question about the software version. So the software, the CAD software I show you in this presentation is the last one. Of course, is the last one modeling software. And right now we finish already like everything into the software. Is the Plovdiv, let's say, it's called Plovdiv modeler, and we have already some customers that they have and they are using this CAD software, and I think really soon everybody can have it. That's about the question. So guys, I will hope once again that you enjoy this small presentation. Thank you very much to everybody.